Have you ever felt like someone's watching you, but when you turn around, no one's there? What if I told you that's exactly what happened to admin? Someone who started hearing footsteps in the attic at exactly 3 a.m. and never came back? In a small town, hidden at the edge of a desolate highway, stood a house that most people tried to avoid. The house was old, weathered, and had a reputation. Most of the town's locals spoke of it in hushed whispers, but no one ever dared to venture close. There were rumors, stories of strange noises, flickering lights, and an oppressive feeling of being watched. But admin, an anonymous Reddit user, wasn't afraid. They moved into the house with high hopes, thinking they could escape the monotony of city life. They didn't believe in ghosts or the supernatural, so the rumors didn't faze them. At first, everything seemed perfect. The house was quiet, peaceful, and gave admin the solitude they had always wanted. But then, the sounds started. At first, they were subtle. Faint creaks in the floorboards late at night, whispering winds that seemed to come from nowhere. Admin brushed it off, thinking it was just the house settling or their own mind playing tricks. But things took a strange turn one night. Admin was sitting in their living room, scrolling through their phone when it happened. A loud thud echoed from upstairs, followed by the unmistakable sound of slow, deliberate footsteps moving across the floor above. Admin froze, heart pounding. It wasn't the wind. It wasn't the house settling. Someone was walking around upstairs. They tried to ignore it, assuming it was their imagination. But as the footsteps grew louder, the tension in the air thickened. Admin's curiosity got the better of them, and they stood up, their feet heavy, with reluctance. The stairs creaked under their weight as they moved toward the attic door. Every part of them screamed not to go, but they opened the door anyway. The attic was dark, colder than it should have been, even for a fall night. Admin's flashlight flickered as they stepped up the stairs, each step creaking beneath them. The dragging noise they had heard earlier was now growing louder, more pronounced, as if something, or someone, was dragging something heavy across the floor above them. When they reached the top, the sight that awaited them made their breath catch in their throat. The attic was a large, dusty room filled with old furniture and broken boxes. The air smelled musty, but that wasn't what caught their attention. In the far corner of the room, sitting alone in the dim light, was a single note. The handwriting was erratic, as if written in a hurry. Admin approached it cautiously, the coldness in the room sending chills down their spine. As they picked up the note, they could barely make out the words. "I'm still here." The moment admin read the note, a cold, unsettling presence filled the room. The dragging sound ceased, and for a moment, everything went silent. But then, something far more terrifying happened. The flashlight flickered again, growing dimmer, with each passing second. The hairs on the back of admin's neck stood up. They turned around, half expecting to see someone standing there, but there was no one. The attic door slammed shut with a deafening bang, trapping admin inside. Panic set in as they rushed to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. Suddenly, the dragging sound returned, louder this time. It was as if whatever was in the attic with admin was coming closer, closing in on them. Admin backed away, their heart pounding in their chest. The flashlight's light barely illuminated the space before them. That's when they heard it. A soft, almost inaudible whisper. Faint, but clear. "You shouldn't have come here." The cold air in the attic seemed to close in around admin, the temperature dropping rapidly. Every instinct screamed for them to escape, but the door wouldn't open. The whispering grew louder, more frantic, as if the presence in the attic was trying to get closer, trying to suffocate them in the darkness. Admin fumbled for their phone, but the battery was dead. They were completely alone, trapped in the attic with whatever entity had been haunting this house. The twist? A message from the other side? The whispering grew more frantic, almost panicked. Admin could feel their heart race in their chest as they continued to try and open the door. But it was useless. It wouldn't budge. The dragging sound now seemed like it was directly behind them, just inches away. Then, as if out of nowhere, the phone vibrated in their pocket. They pulled it out in disbelief. It was a message sent by someone, or something, named Admin. But how was this possible? Admin was alone in the attic, trapped with no way out. The message read, "You shouldn't be here. It's already too late." Suddenly, Admin's phone died, the screen going black. The final mystery. The police arrived the next morning, summoned by a neighbor who hadn't heard from Admin in hours. When they arrived, the house was eerily quiet. The attic door was locked, but there was no sign of Admin. The only thing they found was the note, the one that read, "I'm still here." They found no trace of Admin, no footprints, no signs of a struggle, just the unsettling silence. Days passed, and rumors began to spread. Some said Admin had disappeared because they knew too much about the house. Others believed they were swallowed by the very entity they had dared to confront. But there was one thing no one could explain: the message. Who sent it, and why? Was it really Admin sending a final warning from beyond the grave? Or was it something else? Something far darker? To this day, no one knows. Admin's disappearance remains one of the most bizarre mysteries ever to haunt that small town.